Well, it doesn't look like it caught everything there at the beginning of that. So sorry, going back to StreamYard and trying to get everything figured back out. Okay, hopefully we didn't have a little echo there. Streamlabs is a good platform and everything, but if I can get back to StreamYard where I can get more people in on here, I do want to get back to where we can do stuff later at night. I've been up early pretty well every morning doing something around here, trying to get stuff done. And so being on later at night just usually doesn't happen. I get everybody fed and taken care of and into bed, and then I'm usually right behind everybody too. So we'll go ahead and start out this morning here. I think I may go ahead and do that little catch thing every single time around. Y'all let me know what you think. I don't feel like doing it right now though. Already started it off, and so we'll just keep on rolling with it here. Go back to a couple of videos ago and you'll see which one I'm talking about. But anyway, we kind of start everything off, or have been so far with these lives, with kind of seeing what the metals market is doing. If anybody doesn't know, I go to Kitco for the most part. It's usually a good mid-range on what everything's doing, because each different site is going to have its own little variation of where the prices are actually at. Right now we got silver. Here, let me actually blow this up more. Don't need to see my ugly mug so much. There we go. Okay. So we got silver going about $23 right here. It dipped down below. Yeah, it did dip down below yesterday. With the way it's kind of going, it'll probably jump up a little bit before the weekend, before the end of the day today. Something just tells me that it's going to go ahead and keep dipping a little bit more. And I got a bad feeling in fall about a lot of things, and I figure the price is going to start going back up then. Once again, as always, not a financial advisor, not a professional, anything. Just a monkey with a microphone here. But anyway, so yeah, platinum is under 1,000 an ounce. Gold has definitely went back up a little bit there. I think whenever I seen it last, it was 1,800 and change. So gold's back on the rise there. Looks like everything right here is a little bit on the rise at the moment. Now, I've also, on the little app that I've got, yeah, and it's not showing it here. Usually shows base metals too on the app that I've got. Oh, right there, base metals. Sorry, I don't actually usually pay attention to the website itself so much anymore. Okay, so we've actually got instead of in ounces, for anybody that doesn't know, it's over here on above my head on this spot. But it's per pound. And copper's actually at $4.44 a pound right now. Going between $4.43 all the way up to about $4.50 a pound. That's pretty decent price on copper. I got a feeling a lot of these base metals will be going back up. And well, everybody knows what's going on around the world. And if history has ever shown anything, then let me bring the comments up in case. Okay. Because I see a few other eyes are watching now, so I want to make sure if anybody says anything, I catch it. But for each war we've ever really been into is kind of put a strain on supplies. So therefore, the want or the need for certain metals, whether they be for being used overseas or just for everyday common stuff around here, smaller supply means higher price. So a lot of this stuff will probably be going up. Like I said, I got a good feeling it's going to be in the fall time is when we are going to start to see a change on particular things. Let's see here. Uranium, that is that is another field that I will say. What is the name of that channel? I believe the name of the channel is called I Love Prosperity. If you don't follow him yet, it's a great channel to follow to kind of give some financial insights and stuff. He has a lot of great people come on there. What's going on, Joe? I appreciate you being here. Don't worry. I've seen where you said, sorry you didn't catch it yesterday. It's like, man, I was only on for like 10 minutes. Anybody that even got the message and was able to get there in time would have been something. So I just kind of wanted to pop in for a minute. Yesterday, uh, I was all up in my feels from talking to the kids and stuff on the way to school that morning. You know, that's one of my main priorities is making sure that if I'm no longer around, that they will be okay. And just some of the stuff we've been looking at is kind of getting got to me a little bit. But anyway, for y'all of you that may not know or didn't catch it yesterday, at least as far as I know here in Missouri, today is Arbor Day. So any of your nurseries you may want to be checking into if you're looking into getting plants, because I'm sure they've got some, just deals on those today. But more specifically, anywhere that sells trees. Now, there are several people here locally, uh, within 10, 15 minutes of where I live. I want to say there's at least 4 or 5 different nurseries, and I can go beyond that a little ways, and there's a lot more than that. But if you're going to order online, I am in no way affiliated with these guys by any means, but they are local to Missouri. They are, if I remember correctly, they are actually north of St. Louis is where they are based out of. But so if you're kind of in the general Missouri area or in our, climate zone, they might be worth taking a look at because, they're going to be growing stuff kind of in the same climate as what you might be needing. That's why I went ahead and I'm interested in them just for that reason. From Missouri, somewhat kind of keeping it local. I'll probably go a little more local than these guys, but they usually have some really great deals going on. A lot of trees I see here, like I talked about, even at the grocery store. The local food giant has trees out there. They actually just got more in yesterday. They're selling for about $30. So, like these right here is the Pink Lady Apple. If you haven't tried them before, those are actually really good. My daughter really loves those. I think she loves it more just because it's got the name Pink in the title, but they're actually really good. So that would be a plus on that because right now I know, all orders today only ship for free, and they usually have this site's usually got fairly decent stuff going on when it comes to shipping. A lot of the times I'll see if you get an order of like $100 or more, the shipping's usually free on that as well. So, and they also do things to where if you sign up for their emails and all that, you can get a little bit more off. What's going on, Josh? Yeah, Bub, I seen that video you put out this morning, and I wanted to put something out on that the other day because I'd kind of seen where that had happened. Because another channel I watch, I'm forgetting her name. I am so bad with names. I hate that. Never forget a face. Even years later, I'll never forget a face, but I can forget somebody's name sitting there talking to them sometimes. I want to say it was Mary Greenlee News, something along those lines. I'll have to go back and check and let everybody know. But she was the first one I seen that kind of put something out on that. And then I got to looking into it, and there have been a few cases overall, but like you said, it wasn't, this here's the first U.S. case of it. But I made a comment on your thing and was trying to keep from making sure you didn't get a hit in any way from what I was saying. But somebody at the gate when it comes to computers, if you catch my drift, has been funding the research. I was watching Christian's channel, the Ice Age Farmer, and he was putting it out there talking about how they have been funding a scientist at a certain university since 2014 to trying to get it to jump over. And he's been successful. I think when he finally got first made it successful was 2018, if I remember correctly. I would have to go back and, because of course, Christian's channel's got everything backed up on their own personal website and all that kind of stuff, and just like a bunch of other bigger channels, which is a great idea because this is their sandbox. We had to play in it, so we got to kind of be careful on certain things. But yeah, I got a big feeling that they're going to try. It's just another attack on our food. They are trying to make it to where like all animals, because I remember talking about, oh shoot, what was it? 6 months ago, maybe. In the Northwest, they were putting laws into where, but they were putting laws into effect to where any kind of holding animals outside or animal husbandry, keeping animals of any kind was going to start to be outlawed, because a lot of the laws they were putting into effect, it was going to be either inhumane or animal rights violations, basically, was the way they were trying to go about it that way when it come to breeding animals or keeping them in pens or even tagging them and stuff like that. And like I said, when it comes to the poultry stuff, I mean, we're going to get chickens here. My uncle has already got chickens waiting on me. I've just got to get my rearing gear and get the coop built and going to do a run. And obviously from that short the other day with the hawks flying over and stuff, having a little bit of netting or something over the top of it's going to be a good idea. I think I'm just going to go with netting because I would like to have it loose to where I can easily toss stuff into them, whether it be from the garden or leftover salad or something that we have from here in the house. Just simple stuff that they'll go ahead and like. But right here, well, taking the kids back to the old town because they're finishing school there instead of them the last month or so of school having to transfer. I've been driving them back and forth, which is about 15-minute drive maybe to get one way. And I pass at least 3 chicken farms on the way. I'm talking the big ones that have got the big barns to where they're pretty well, in the dark for the most part. And, I don't prefer that, but on a mass scale and trying to keep everything, and I have understanding about it. And I know that the farmers that do it really don't have control over how they have to keep the birds. It's the people that, truthfully own the birds and up to a point have a big stake in the farms. Because I know the town that we used to live in, on the backside of it, even there's another chicken farm, and that one is owned by Tyson. So I mean, they're the ones that are going to tell you how you're going to raise the chickens and everything else if you get in on all that. Ours are just going to be for eggs to start with, and then want to get some meat birds. And everybody's seen the big front yard out here. If you haven't, it's back a few videos, and we got just run them all around the yard each day, moving them a little bit. So, but yeah, getting back to this, if you go to this site, and don't think it's just trees, because they do have a lot of everything. I've actually truthfully been surprised when I went around to even Walmart, and because everybody knows the past couple of years how they kind of went, full on brutal mode against anybody trying to grow anything for themselves. And this year there's seems to be like a large supply of stuff, at least in my area. And knowing that a lot of people in my area go ahead and do stuff like that, and there's still quite a bit, to me that says something anyway. I've actually I went ahead and I'm going to try out some seed potatoes. I normally just go ahead and use the ones that start to get the eyes on them and all that, that have been sitting around a little too long if they make it that far. But I found some red seed potatoes. And my grandfather, when I was younger, we used to go, well, after they would be done with the fields, there'd always be some extras out there. And they'd let people come out and, you find any if you want to keep them and they're good, have at it. It's better for them to do that than for them to lay out there and rot, is the way they kind of thought about it. But he always told me try to get the red ones because the red ones seem to last longer. Being put on the shelf or put up somewhere, the red potatoes always seem to last longer. I haven't really done any research on that. So if anybody would like to correct me or tell me if I'm right or tell me that I'm wrong, go ahead and leave it on the comments on that. And in saying that, anybody catching this on the replay, I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and be doing the lives a lot more in the mornings. It's kind of just an easy way for me to take a minute and sit down and get in here and jump in front of this microphone and, talk a little bit of shit and then go back about my day. But I would really like to get back into being on at night. And I've been trying to watch everybody and I'm way behind. But that's why I'm kind of getting back into using StreamYard here. So that way, I can, because it seems like they've updated it quite a bit. I was noticing several things on here, even in the free mode, that have changed since I was using it last. But anybody, I'm going to do a shout out for several channels right quick here. So anybody that may not have heard of any of these channels, go check them out. The dogs say hello as well. But definitely go check these other channels out. More than worth their weight in information. Well, they're running to the other end of the house where there's no doors and barking, so the neighbors must be moving around or something. We've been having they've been having septic tanks replaced out around us here, so there's been a lot of heavy equipment moving around and all that here lately. Enough. Thank you for alerting me. That's enough. Sit. Yeah, you're gonna sit here and be a pain in my rear right now. Okay, anyway. But wow, complete squirrel moment once I went ahead and paid attention to them. Where was I? Channels. Yes. Okay. Worth more than their weight in watching them for information or just anything. We already got Just Josh in here. Definitely go check that man out. Amazing information and definitely on the right level, in my opinion, on getting your spirit right. So, but then, of course, as always, we got Prepper Tribe on the list. Whether it be information, good tunes, a good laugh, always worth watching Prepper Tribe. Going on down the list here, we got Backwoods and Prepping, which from the sounds of the live that him and Hutch did, which definitely check Hutch out too, Hutch Homestead. Sounds like he's going to be doing, but it sounds like Backwoods is going to be adding another channel to his repertoire and going to be, I don't think he's decided yet on the name, so I'm not going to say it yet, but be on the lookout for that, which I fully understand. And that's why we kind of went ahead. And if anybody would check out our other channel as well, it's 1 Acre Homestead. It's going to be just that stuff. It's not going to be any of this here, no political stuff, no any of that. Just straight information showing stuff being built or grown or, making everything a little bit more simpler. Trying to take some of the stress out of the situation altogether. Because I know everybody can get a little overwhelmed at times, and me included. There's a lot going on in the world, and you start to let it get to you too much, and it's just you get burnt out real quick. Let's see here. We talked about Hutch Homestead. There's going to be. I'm trying to kind of stay away from the bigger channels when I say this because there's a lot of good information on smaller channels. Used to be Ghetto Prepper. Now it's just Ghetto. I haven't been able to talk to him for a while. Go check him out. Let's see here. Man, there are so many good ones out there. Um, and I just heard her name on John's channel this morning too. Uh, Shoot, I can even see her face. Once again, bad with names. Well, I'll put a little list down below afterwards and link to each one of the channels. Just that way, if you haven't heard of them, then heck, just go give them a view. You never know what you might learn, and that's the most important thing out there. I really believe that we can teach everybody a lot of stuff out there. You know, just simple stuff sometimes. I mean, there are so many simple little tricks that I have learned over the years just from somebody being like, "Hey, do you know you can do this?" It's like, I mean, I know they went out and there for a while. I think it's on the back of Monster cans. I've got it on the Discord channel. It's a picture of where you take, the tab from like a soda or any, you know, aluminum can beverage, the tab that you open it with. You can turn that into a fishing hook with, just a pair of snips, and that's about it. Real quick fishing hook in case you don't have one or something. I mean, there's all kinds of little tips and tricks that you can learn out there. It's like got in here a little late yesterday. Was painting all the way up to the last minute. Did finally get one of the shelves into what's going to be our pantry. And I know Will Alaska Prepper was talking about it. Having your working pantry and then kind of your mid stage stuff and then your long stage stuff. That's my opinion on it too. Go ahead and have your stuff that you're going to use on a regular basis. Always rotate it out when you restock. Put the new stuff in the back, whether it's in your working one and the one that you've got for a little bit more long term, or even your long term. That way, you're always using what needs to be used first. Um, that used to be one of those things that was common sense for a lot of people, and when I went to the stores before, it doesn't seem to be too common anymore. Um, yeah, you kind of got taught that, so that way you always get the older product out first and you don't have stuff going bad. And if you ever come across some stuff that is starting to maybe go a little bad, and once again, the best by date is best by. That doesn't mean expiration date. Um, you start to lose a little bit of the nutrition value or a little bit of the flavor, or, there's, if you go out there and do the research on it, there's a lot of different people that have opened stuff years beyond that date and it still be good. It may be a little bland, and I'm sure it does not have the nutrition value that it once had, but it was still edible. And, if you ever get into the situation to where it's starve or eat something like that, well, I'm not starving personally. So, but another little quick tip on that, whenever you're doing your cans, to make it easy to see. Don't get me wrong, I know most everything's got that best by date printed on it. Take you a Sharpie right quick, put it right on the top of the can or on the front of the box or bottle, right there over the top of the label. Speak of the man himself, Mr. Hutch Homestead. What's going on, brother? I'm gonna be trying to put a video out later that hopefully there'll be a little thing in the mail that I can open up and show everybody. But yeah, take you a Sharpie and just quickly write the date on it. Right on top of the can, like I said, front of the bottle, front of the box, whatever's facing forward or easiest to see. That way you just have a really quick reference that's, about as right in your face as you can get on what the date is on that. So that way you're not fumbling around sometime and not being able to see, I've got some cans that I got mixed up before. Thought once I started moving stuff around and resituating stuff, I ended up getting some stuff that was a little older, kind of put towards the middle of something. And then by the time I got to it, it was like, well, shoot. I mean, it still got used, but it should have been used before it did get used, you know. And that little Sharpie trick, it doesn't take much, just a few minutes, and it really works because it's like I said, it's right there in your face. You don't have that little bitty print that gets kind of stamped on the can that I've noticed sometimes it seems like that's the first thing to wear off on the can is that date. But and then let's see here. Thankfully, we're going to be doing some canning here very soon. We're going to start getting. I mean, I obviously don't have anything coming up just yet that can be canned. We got a bunch of stuff in the ground out here, and going to be showing a lot more than that because I've got one garden bed done. I've gotten others built, but they're not out there with soil in them and stuff like that because I got to go get some more. Uh, I'm probably going to go ahead and plant the blueberry bush that I've got. I was going to do it all by itself, but I've got a spot out here by some rose bushes and some other stuff that kind of prefers acidic soil. So I may just give it a shot and see how that works. Just put it over there with it and kind of the sandy soil and just see what happens. Um, if anybody's got any recommendations on, I'm looking for some fruit. It doesn't necessarily have to be berries. It can be kind of whatever, but something that will be helpful as a bush. Even if it's really good for pollinators, just has some big flowers or something like that on it. Here goes the dog again. I apologize. Glass, be quiet. He's been a little high strung since we moved, but he also got a new little brother that's kind of kept him high strung too. But anyway, getting back to it, I'm looking for some good bushes that have got some big thorns on them. We got a couple windows. Well, the twins' rooms, both of them are on the front side of the house, facing the main road. And I would really like to put, I prefer something that we're going to be eating overall, but something with some thorns underneath the windows. Just kind of basic security kind of situation, in my opinion. I mean, go ahead and throw it under the windows. It comes up fruit on it, then we get to eat it. Um, let's see here. Anybody trying to get in a window by chance, I highly doubt they're going to fight with a whole bunch of thorns to try to get in a window. They'll, more than likely try to find a different way in. Just my honest opinion on that. Anybody trying to do something along those lines is usually going to try to do the easiest route they can because they're not going to put as much effort into it. Now, the reverse of that, if we ever had to get out of the house and go through one of those windows for some reason, say a fire or something like that, I'm not going to be worried about them thorns on the outside of the window. It's if I've got to bust a window or something like that to get out of my house, the little bit of thorns is going to be the least of my worries. So, but that might be something for everybody too, as well. We do have those elections coming up, and we all know how the past couple of years have looked during certain times. It's for Cynthia Hedge. I guess I'm saying that right. No thorns but thick. I wonder. I got a hedge out here right outside the front door, and it's a really thick one. I mean, there's no thorns on it, but I have no clue as to what it is. I'm not really. I need to learn a lot more about my bushes and trees and stuff like that. I've got a little bit of knowledge on trees, but just like with everything else, more knowledge is going to be better at all times. What is going on, Prepper Days? Now, he's going to tell me not to do this, but that's going to be another channel that I recommend everybody check out. He will say that he is not interested in the views and stuff. He's more here to help everybody else out. And that's why I say go watch Prepper Days. He puts out real short, quick little videos, so he's not as long-winded as the rest of us. But getting back to this website here, they really have a lot. Like strawberry plants here. This is an elderberry plant collection for that price. I hope. Well, let's see what it is here. No, I don't want to do that right now. I already do that. Okay. So, well, it looks like the only thing right now is this. What do you get? Looks like. Oh, okay. So you get includes 4 plants in that one right there, because everything else right now is out of stock from the looks of it. Yeah. And for those that don't know, elderberry, as much as I absolutely hate the taste of it, it's 11 feet tall, flowers, easily trimmed and shaped. Sorry, I'm going back to the chat here where Hutch is talking. Yeah, I don't think that's what I've got out front here, because it doesn't produce any flowers or anything, but I'll definitely have to check into that, because if it gets 11 feet tall, that might be a good one for the edge of the property too. I was thinking about doing a grapevine on one side, but this other side over here is pretty open. If I can get something that's a little taller and thick, that'd be a good windbreak. But yeah, elderberry. As much as I really do not like the taste, and my wife loves it. We get elderberry jam from the Amish stores and stuff around here, and I can't stand the taste of it, but it's really good for you. Uh, just health wise, it's extreme. Elderberry is extremely good for you. Um, Doug and Stacy's channel, living off grid with Doug and Stacy. I may have the channel name wrong on that, but surely you can find it by that. They're from Missouri as well. They've got a lot of information on elderberry and bees as well for the most part. I mean, they got a lot of information on everything, but I've seen them go ahead and do quite a bit of information on elderberry. But Missouri is well, at least at one time it was. I don't know if it still is anymore. It was kind of like the capital for elderberry. I mean, it grows in many different places, but it really grows thick, here in Missouri. Let's see here. But I would recommend looking into stuff that is going to be perennial for you. If you're going to be buying into plants and stuff, just like with the trees, when you get a tree, a lot of people, that's usually the biggest mistake a lot of the homesteading channels I've ever watched will tell you, is that when they first moved in, they didn't get any trees. They waited, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years on down the road before they were putting any trees in. Well, then you've also still got to wait at least another year, 2 or so before, the tree starts to produce fruit. It's gotta develop itself. So that's one of the things that they always recommend when they kind of do the hindsight videos, is as soon as you can, if you are able to. That's why I was dead set on it being one of the first things that we've done, and been here a month now, and I still ain't done it yet, but it will be happening. It's going to be a guarantee. But perennials is a good food source that will be coming back every year. This, like, I know asparagus has. I don't think you can do it the first year after planting. I think it's the second year after it's been there that you can actually harvest it. Now, I'm not a big asparagus fan either, but I know some people absolutely love that too. But it's something that will continue to keep coming back. That's why I talk about the berry bushes. Berry bushes are going to be there. They're going to produce food each year. Yeah. And I mean, and a lot of people don't really realize just how much. That's why I'm going to, with that other channel, and I mean, I will always post stuff on this channel Like I said, but the other channel is just specifically going to be the homesteading kind of stuff, whether we're building, planting, growing, whatever. It's just going to be that. There's not going to be any of the politics or present events or anything like that going on the other channel. But the Backyard Homesteader is the name of the book. I've shown it a few times, and I'll show it several more times. My wife got it for me years ago, along with there's several to the collection, and then from what I've seen, they've updated it actually. So it might be worth looking into again on getting. But they even talk about growing a ton of food on even down to like I think it's a quarter acre, and that's growing that much food. That's not, but like I said, if you've got a balcony or something, um, just use pots, containers. Where I was at last, we had a massive yard, truthfully, but I wasn't able to plant in it because the landlord considered it to be digging the ground up as a permanent structure kind of situation. I don't ask me. Um, but we were doing stuff in containers, and they actually make they're like towers that have got it goes up for every foot. There's like four planters around it, or even more, depending on what brand and stuff. I've kind of showed a few of them in the past, but and that would be a good point there too, Prepper Days, that I'll touch on here in a second. But so if you've got like a patio or a balcony or something like that, these containers, you can stack them up several feet tall, and you plant around them, and then there's some of them are even on like a carousel kind of situation where they are able to be spun. So one day one can get the most sun, come out, and the next day spin it a little bit. And as you water them, they actually conserve water a little better too, because if you water from the top, any runoff from any of the plants that doesn't, that's gotten fully saturated that don't need it will continue to run down. And then most of them usually have a wicking system at the bottom of them as well to try to help keep the water. You really conserve a lot of water in those things, and you can grow a bunch of food. Another way of doing that is actually like milk crates. We've shown how to take some, weed cloth and put it in the bottom of it, and it really kind of holds it. And I've seen people on rooftops grow a ton of strawberries here, using kind of that very similar method. They'll make like a tower out of them, and as the strawberries start to, have the runners go, it'll go through that cloth and back into the soil, root, come back out, and continue on down the tower itself. And they're really cool looking. That's actually what originally gave me the idea of trying to use the milk crates. But getting back over here to what Prepper Days was talking about, he said, have you ever considered using plants for wildlife? Feed them and keep them away from your human food. And that's a very good point. Um, I really haven't, because where I'm at, the most I really have to worry about, because truthfully, I haven't even seen any rabbits run through my yard. But coyotes are about the only thing that we get around here, which 50 feet behind my house, across the neighbor's yard. Another neighbor's got paddocks with sheep and stuff like that in it too. So I mean, there's animals around here. If they got loose, it wouldn't take them much to go run on through somebody's vegetable garden. But the coyotes, well, there used to be a cat when we first moved in here. We were going to go ahead and let it stick around and, be kind of like a barn cat out here with the shop kind of thing. And any mice come around, let it take care of it, and let it have a, place to stay kind of thing. Then one night the coyotes were raising hell out here, and unfortunately we ain't seen the cat since. So I got a feeling that may be what happened there to that. But I mean, I can agree with that. If you're going to do that, though, I would definitely try to have some form of separation. If you know what I mean, like a little rink-a-dink, like a rabbit wire fence or something. Just kind of a little bit of separation to where the animal can know that, okay, well, this is on the outside and nothing's happening when I'm eating it. But if they ever try to come inside that point or past that point, you try to do a little something, kind of like a training method, I guess. Um, and a lot of people that may live a little rural, if you definitely need to check your local laws and everything to be absolutely sure on this. But there's a lot of times to when don't be afraid to take care of a situation. I'll put it that way. If an animal is getting into your food, be it a garden or anything like that, and a lot of people will have different opinions on it. Well, they're just trying to eat too, and I can agree with that. But there are rules and regulations and things in place to where you are able to protect, your crops. Now, I've known people to use this kind of to their advantage. They were honestly, protecting what was theirs, but be able to get some meat out of the situation. I'll put it that way. Larger animals came in and was destroying their crops. They took care of it, and instead of just trying to let things go to waste, well, it was on their property. It was that situation. It was all 100% legal. They called the conservation person, told them what happened and everything like that, and asked if they could just go ahead and take care of the animal so that way it wouldn't, just be an absolute waste. And they got meat in their freezer over the situation too. So they lost a little bit of their greenery, but they gained meat in the process too. So now I'm not saying try to set a trap situation because that's not cool, but don't ever try to. I'm very much about upcycling or recycling or using everything to the best it can be used. So if you ever have to take an animal down in any way whatsoever, I would recommend anyway trying to use as much of it as possible as well. I mean, that's kind of why I would like for us to grow our own animals out here, raise them and teach the kids because they understand that where their food comes from. They're not some of those people out there that why can't you just get your food from the store like everybody else instead of going out and killing animals. They understand that, to get meat from the store, an animal does have to die somewhere and has to be processed. So if we can give the animal the best life possible, you know, before it meets its end, and then it feeds us in return, then hey, they're on board for that. That's another one of the things that the kids and I kind of talk about from time to time because they'll ask certain questions, and I'll try to be as honest and explain as much to them as possible. Now, do I think they will be all for getting out here and processing some chickens right off the back? No, I don't figure that. Now, will they eventually do it? Well, yeah, because I want them to. Excuse me. Definitely want them to learn how to do it and have that under their belt as well. And when we do that, we're not going to waste anything of it. I know that everything that gets drained can go onto the gardens to help fertilize that. Um, I'm actually going to I plan on getting a grinder specifically for anything that will not be saved, can be ground up and then used as a fertilizer as well. Or if everything goes as planned, um, hopefully we get to have a pig or two out here on the back corner and, you know, they can take care of just about anything. So be a little extra for them from time to time. Actually get a kick of seeing wildlife in the suburbs. I bet the biggest kick in a situation like that I got a little while back is well, I'm definitely not in the suburbs, but somebody's cows got loose and was running through the middle of town. So I mean, you can drive down Main Street and there's three cows running at you right down the street. It's it's pretty funny. Let's see here. Let's get off of it. Well, no, let's check into one more thing here. Let's go here. But yeah, they've got several things up here. You know, fruit trees, nut trees. I'm not really into landscaping and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I do understand it, and there can be times for it when you need to get things directed on your property. You know, when you need water flow to go a certain way, or like I was talking about when he made the comment about those kind of those shrubs. You know, having a windbreak up to a point, because out here where I'm at, there's quite a bit of wind always seems to be blowing out here. So having a little bit of a windbreak in certain spots would be nice. I mean, the breeze is always nice. Don't get me wrong. But there's some things like when I first put those tomato plants in, I was kind of worried about them because they were pretty well blown over for a couple of days, and they've gotten it all worked out to where they've gotten stronger, thankfully. So, all right, Days, you have you a good one, Bubba, and we'll catch you around. I appreciate you stopping in. But I mean, I'm more of the on the mindset food, not lawns. You know, like I said before, it's crazy to me at how much some people spend on making their yard look pretty, but don't grow a single thing in the way of food. Mad Shad, what is going on, brother? I ain't seen that name in a bit. Which, like I said, I ain't been get, ain't been able to get to other people's shows quite a while either. So, but but yeah, I'm definitely against because I mean everything I plan on planting out here is it's going to have a purpose. Uh, if there's any flowers or anything that looks pretty, kind of thing, it's going to be just so that way it brings in the pollinators. You know, trying to keep an equal balance of that and give them food, let them pollinate everything else. You know, just kind of work with everything a little bit. Well, good, Bob. I'm glad you're able to get a few minutes. But let's see here. But yeah, they've got several options, and like I said, this I'm not affiliated with Stark Brothers in any way whatsoever. It's just that they are from Missouri, so you know it's something that I've looked into just because they're in the same climate zoning or whatever you want to call it. So that way, everything that they grow should be right acclimated to my area for the most part. That's just like well, let me look it up here right quick. Baker Creek. There we go. This would be, well, of course, Google. There we go. Baker Creek seeds. Now they can be a little pricey. I'm not gonna lie about that, depending on what you want. But the options that they have is crazy as well. Um, Baker Creek always has an absolutely huge selection. And it's another one that I tried to go through just for the fact of they are right here in Missouri. They're actually, if I understand right, on locations, they're actually in between me and Hutch. They're on the southern side here, so kind of under Hutch as well, but they're more towards Hutch's side of the state. But you can get free catalogs, but I would recommend if you can get it early and try to order it for next year, you can always get their full catalog cheaper than because I want to say their catalogs actually go for like $20 at the store when they first come out. But I get mine for like $10 because I always order them the year before. So that makes a little bit of a difference. What's going on, Stacks and stuff, brother? Good to see you in here. But I usually go ahead and order from them because, like I said, it's another place here in Missouri they always grow out everything because they do heritage seeds. They're, everything's non-GMO. They make sure everything they get from because they get stuff from farmers as well, and they try to go out and search for stuff that's more on the rare side too, via the name rareseeds.com. Uh, but they always make sure it grows here in southern Missouri before they will ever sell it to anybody. So those seeds get acclimated to my area, in my opinion. I'm a little more, I'm on the east side of Missouri, but, it's still right here, southern Missouri. They got better soil over there than what I got right here, but, that's kind of beside the point. But literally anything that you can think of. I know one year, uh, their choice on tomatoes could have been a catalog all on its own. As a matter of fact, let's just see what they got. Okay, do that. Let's go down here to tomatoes right quick. And the reason I'm kind of pointing out tomatoes more when I talk about stuff is because, to my understanding, because of the whole situation with the fertilizers and all that, everything that's going on overseas, there is actually going to be a decline in tomatoes this year. So for anybody that likes their tomatoes, whether you eat them all on their own or however you might want to eat them, whether they be canned or anything like that. Yeah, see, they even go ahead and separate them out here. They've got that many different tomato varieties. So I mean, let's pick one here. Blue and purple. And there we go. Okay. But anyway, the fertilizer is going to be in short supply, so a lot of farmers are kind of pulling back on this because it's going to be a little harder to grow without their fertilizers. So I would recommend, even you may even want to look into them, even if you don't really like tomatoes. There's a lot of foods that obviously the tomato base, one way or the other, goes into. Pizza, spaghetti sauces, all kinds of different soups. I mean, you really think about it, tomatoes go into quite a bit of stuff out there. Not just eating them whole, but I mean, any kind of salsas or anything like that. Whether they be green tomatoes if you're going with a verde, or but just with picking the blue and purples, you can see how long of a list they've got here. I've got some of these hopefully coming up this year. That'll be really cool looking. Look at the size of that one. That's a Cherokee purple. I've heard great things about those. I haven't been able to get a hold of any of the seeds yet, but I will. But I would definitely recommend it. I mean, anything that you think is going to be in short supply this year will probably be in short supply next year, and I'll never really know how it's going to be looking after that. So if you get the opportunity to try to grow some of this stuff, grow some for you, grow some extra that you might be able to give to friends and family, or trade off even. I've said that before. If you've got neighbors that are better at growing one thing and you can grow something else, both talk to each other, both of you grow a little extra, and then trade off. You get whatever they've got and they get whatever you've got, and both of you are sitting pretty. Or turn around and, like with the tomato situation, if things are in short supply in the fall because of the fertilizers, you'll be able to sell them even, make a little extra money, spend it where you need it. You never really know. I mean, some of this stuff you can actually set out there, let it go, and once you get everything kind of going, as long as you make sure that it's watered, and don't overwater your tomatoes. Just for reference there too, they're actually a little better off if you maybe let them go a little too long without water. You got to find that happy medium with them, but and always let them dry just a little bit. Be a little lacking water before you go ahead and pull them, because that will help them really. If they're sweet tomatoes, they'll get a little sweeter. All the sugars and everything in them will be a little more concentrated. Instead of being so watery sometimes. Or if that's what you're looking for, then go ahead and water them the day before. But I've always been told to kind of let them go a couple days without water before you go to pick them. But yeah, this is just that one section, and like I said, there was at least 5 or 6 right there, right quick. So another good another good seed company, in my opinion, that I have even personally ordered from before is Mi Gardener. He's another channel as well. Definitely go give him a look if you haven't yet. It would be to your benefit. He gives a lot of information out there. Um, Growing your greens is always one that I recommend because that man right there goes out of his way big time to try to get as much information out there. Now, if you're only a short video kind of a person, well, you're gonna have to search his videos for the information because his videos do tend to be a little bit long, but they're always packed full of great information. I mean, from end to end, he's always got something that he's trying to explain to you or tell you. Oh, give me a break. Sorry, YouTube acting funny just because Mad Shad wanted to say hi to Arkansas whoop ass, and evidently, I guess the whoop ass part kind of played a little funny with it. But but yeah, get out there and grow something. I mean, my kids even brought some stuff home. I don't know how many people's schools do it, if it's more of a rural thing or if maybe even some of the cities do it. But they brought some corn seeds home a while back to where I guess they were, it was part of what they were learning about, things germinating and all that. So they all end up getting some. They put them in the wet paper towel and put them in the Ziploc bag and let them sit for a couple days and, got to see how they sprouted. And they got to bring them home and everything. So we planted them. I mean, not going to let that go to waste by any means. But it's cool to see the kids really kind of pay attention to that stuff. It's like, wow, we took this and now it's that. And they get that sense of accomplishment, you know. And I really love to see that look on their face, that sense of I did that, and being able to grow food. Seeing the purple here, because as we first clicked on this website, let me go back to prove it. Yeah, the purple. That's another thing that growing your greens kind of really emphasizes, because the purple vegetables and fruits and stuff like that have I know I'm probably going to say this incorrectly, but it's anthocyanins, something along those lines. Anyway, it's extremely good for your body, your immune system and everything else. If you have the opportunity between eating something that is of the same thing, and one's purple and one's whatever color it is, the purple one is usually better for you. Um, like even down to peppers or anything like that. Something about the color purple, even in carrots. I want to say it's anthocyanins. I know I'm saying that incorrectly. I know I am. But, and of course, my daughter always likes any of them that are purple because, they're purple. But just a couple companies here that, like I said, no affiliation with them whatsoever. But they're from Missouri, so I always recommend them because that's who I go through. Um, I've never had any issues whatsoever with Baker Creek. Um, I can't say of any issues. Now, Stark Brothers, I haven't actually been able to go through yet. So, you know, I've heard lots of great things from many different people about them, though, here locally and even not so locally. Because from my understanding, there's people all over the country that go ahead and order from them. With everything kind of being about the middle of the U.S., it seems to be a good range for, obviously you're not going to be growing bananas out in the open up in Michigan, but everything in its place. And that's another thing, just kind of why I tapped in on it there. If you have the opportunity, even if say it's only a 10 foot by 10 foot section, if you've got that amount of space, think about maybe putting in a greenhouse. Now it ain't got to be some fancy whatever, I mean, you can even get just well, get some pallets, break them down, build you a frame, wrap it in plastic. What's going on, Stuart? Good to see you in here. But wrap it in plastic. You know, it will help you prolong your growing season or getting to start it sooner, or you may even get to grow some stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to grow because you can keep it a little warmer in there and keep, the chill and the snow off of stuff. Um, it's all something that we really all need to be looking a little more into. Uh, Somebody said it a little while back, and I find it to be absolutely truthful. It's amazing how they want to teach us all this stuff in school, but yet the stuff that we really need to survive doesn't get taught in school. We don't get taught how to grow our own food. We don't get taught. I mean, they still have, home ec class, but do you really get taught a lot about cooking anymore? I mean, I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been in high school, but because I mean, I know back when I was there, they still taught you how to write checks and everything like that there in home ec class. Trying to get you a little, seemed like it was about the best class to try to get you a little more prepared for what was you were going to be jumping into. But I mean, that's kind of like shop classes used to, you used to hit on a little bit of everything when you had those kind of classes. They teach you a little bit of welding, they teach you a little bit of construction, all them different little skills that can really come in handy. It's nice to be an ace of a trade of some kind, don't get me wrong, but being a jack of many trades, you know, that can be extremely helpful. Like I've said before, I'm going to build a lot of stuff out here, and I am in no way a carpenter whatsoever. I will not say that I am. But my grandfather taught me a lot. He was a carpenter. I've learned a lot over the years. I mean, keeping that information and that knowledge is extremely helpful. And then passing it on makes it even more so. That's why I say, knowledge is the number one prep. It cannot be taken from you. It can always evolve. It can, and it can be shared with everybody. I mean, it's good for everyone. That's why we will go ahead and pop it up here. Go back to, if it works, work. No, it's not doing what I want it to do. But anyway, back to the Discord channel. That should be linked in the description of this as well. As a matter of fact, we're sitting right here. I will just go ahead, and for anybody that was on here and not getting to see it, we'll throw it in there right quick. Do a little self promotion right fast. But yeah, all kinds of stuff over here. I try to make it to where everything has a good spot. I'll probably have to get in here and rearrange things just a little bit. Because I mean, like there was a spot that kind of covered hunting and fishing and different things like that, and then some people kind of put in a little bit more information on fishing. So I made one spot specifically here for fishing. See, there's that thing I was talking about to where a couple little snips on that, and you got yourself a fishing hook. And there's a couple quick reference things in here when it comes to that. I thought this one was actually really cool. A couple different little lures and things like that. But there's all kinds of stuff in here: soap and candle making, homesteading skills, down to military kind of stuff with hand-to-hand combat. We've got urban survival, you know, all different kinds of information, military operations, combat trainings, survival guides, the lost books. These right here are kind of what got this whole thing started. So if you can get in here, I definitely kind of recommend the lost books section. I do have, I've still honestly got about 200 to 300 books that are too large file size for me to be able to upload yet for everybody. I guess I'm gonna have to get down here and go ahead and pay for the server boost, because I think it's got to be. I think the server's got to be like a level 3 before I can. Before I'm going to be able to upload all the rest of the books that I've got for everybody. Now, anybody that's on here that might be watching, I've kind of put a post out there, and I still recommend it. Even if the comment in the comments here for anybody watching this, it's made it. We're past an hour now, so I know I'm a long-winded sumbitch. But any recommendations? Something that you really haven't seen somewhere that you would like some information on? Throw it in the comments. Come over here and go to. I try to keep everybody talking in the general conversation spot. I try to keep everything else cleaned up in all the other spots, and I make sure to tell everybody before I go in there and start deleting messages, because I want them thinking I'm just deleting stuff to be deleting it. And I try to keep it all cleaned up so anybody that wants to get into those areas and looking for the information can find it real quick. But throw the recommendations out there. Anything at all that you think would be helpful to anyone out there. I will research it. I will find PDFs on it. I will get it put in here, so that way the information will be out there for everybody. Reds and greens. Greens detox. Reds rebuild. Guess we're talking about vegetables there, Mad Shed. Which is another good thing to know, because there's a lot of people out there that need, after you do a lot of hard work, having stuff, using Reds to rebuild would be good. And we all, with the way the food is nowadays, could detox a little bit at least, no matter how you look at it. But yeah, quick reference section. Somebody been in here, I'll have to move them over to the video knowledge thing, but it's knots, depending on exterior. Just all different kinds of stuff. Quick little reference. None of it to be taken, obviously, as professional advice in any way, because I'm not a professional on anything. I'm just a monkey with a microphone. But, turning tarps into shelters. I had somebody that's even here in chat talk about how that was kind of good because of their experience in the past and what they've had to deal with. And that knowledge right there being kind of shared out there was a good thing. Quick little, aquaponics thing on how that would work. Just a quick basic, just the basic idea. You can always get more in depth on everything. But cuts of meat, how to use everything. And obviously, I would go a little more in depth on this because, antlers make great knife handles. Make great handles on anything, to be honest. But yeah, calories even right here for what animals are. Just kind of a quick little things. And I there's stuff in here. There's some, kind of the common stuff that you would want to see with bushcrafting and we've got a bunch of gardening stuff in here, but let's see here. Where is it? Communication stuff, and I can even see his symbol, and now I can't think of it. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to put another channel down in the description as well, because was it Comrade Radio? Is that right? Somebody correct me on that. I know y'all know who I'm talking about. Definitely go check him out for any of your communications needs. He gets in very big detail on everything, and even goes to the point of how to set up some of your radios. I know some of y'all have been over there and checked him out. But yeah, beekeeping there, foraging. I was kind of looking. I thought I had some blacksmithing stuff in here as well. Yeah, right there, blacksmithing. Okay. But I mean, down to wood heat, different ways of doing that. There it goes. But so like I said, description for the Discord, or the Discord link is in the description. Go check it out. Please share it with everybody. Yep, Comrade Radio Prepper. Okay, definitely go check him out. All the information you could want when it comes to communications over there. But yeah, hit this up. Share it out there. It's free to everybody. That's the entire intention behind it. Is to try to share information with everybody. So everybody's welcome, all that different kind of stuff. And any recommendations are always appreciated on that there. But all right, I've been yakking for over an hour here. Gonna try to have a video come out later. Like I said, anybody that tried to say sorry you missed the last live, don't be sorry. It was 10 minutes long. I'll probably start doing them more regularly and a lot shorter. I kind of fallen behind now with some of the stuff I need to do today, so I definitely need to make them shorter. But and we will start trying to go ahead and be around at night with everybody, so we can have some people get up here and tell you some more great information as well, and maybe get to jump in on other people's stuff too, like we used to. But I appreciate everybody that is both watching now, anybody that might catch this later. Do me a favor, go out there, learn all you can, teach everyone you can, family or not, and do all the things. Let's get it done. We can come back from where we're at. Everybody puts in just a little bit of effort. But I'll catch y'all around. Y'all have your good one. And thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you later.